those of you who have fallen in sin. We have a merciful Savior who is willing to accept you back if you would just repent of your sin and say these words. Oh, forgive me, Lord, for all the wrong that I've done. Oh, forgive me, Lord, for I should have been strong. Oh, forgive. Hi, I'm Bishop Roy Foot, Senior Pastor and Founder of the New Direction Evangelistic Church, located on the south side of Richmond, 9101 Hall Street Road. Well, this is God's house of hope, blessing, and development. We ask that you will call a friend and call a neighbor. Tell them that New Direction is on there, and get ready for a mighty and powerful word from the Lord. Get ready. And save me by your grace, and forgive me, Lord, and I will walk with you every day. And forgive me, Lord, I'll never do it again. I'll never do it again. Amen. Well, how many worshippers do I have in the house today? Amen, amen, amen. Praise the Lord. Well, if y'all help me in saying amen, I'll try and utter a couple of words from the Lord. I won't be before you long. But in the book of Genesis, the 32nd chapter, Genesis, the 32nd chapter, I want to look at the 24th through the 28th verse. Say amen when you have it. 24th through the 28th verse. And it reads as follows. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince that has power with God and with men, and has prevailed. You may be seated. I want to use for a subject just for a few minutes, if I may. I wouldn't let go. I wouldn't let go. 3 points I want to share with you. Point number 1, I was determined. I was determined. Point number 2, I got just what I wanted. Point number 3, I believe God's promises. I believe God's promises. I wouldn't let go. Turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, hold on for your blessing. So often we can be on the edge of getting our breakthrough and our blessing. But some will give up before they get through the doors. Before the doors open, they will give up. God many times will test us in various ways to see how bad do you really want your blessing. God must test us before he can bless us to see really if you can handle your blessing. sometimes people don't know how to act when they get blessed. So God had to discipline you and condition you for what he has prepared for you. For many times, he wants us to keep humble and submissive to his will, not to become beside ourselves, get beside ourselves. But God knows how to bless us. He knows what to do for us, knows when to do it and how to do it. But many times you must be determined to pursue your blessing. You have to go after your blessing, go after what God has for you. Point number one, I was determined. You must be so determined to receive what God has for you until you will not allow any devil in hell to keep you from what God has for you. For God has promised you, but the devil will often at a time attempt to intercept what God is trying to get to you. He tried to come between you and God's blessing. And so you have to be very mindful and prayerful that you're focused on what God has for you. Because the enemy will blind your eyes and say otherwise. Will cause you to sometime become disgusted and don't believe that it's going to happen. That I've been praying, I've been looking, but God is saying, wait on me. Wait on me. Wait on the Lord. Be of good cheer. Be of good courage. Don't get impatient because it didn't happen yesterday. It's on the way. But sometimes we get so we want it. We will microwave age people that we want everything yesterday. Put it in, push a button, and it's out. No, it doesn't happen like that. God may not come when we call him, but he'll show up when you need it. Have I got any witness in here today? Point number two, I got just what I wanted from the Lord. I was at the crossroads of decision, and I needed God to order my steps. And the reason why you need God to order your steps, that you might not make missteps. And to seek and to step in the order that God has given you, because God is trying to guide you to where he wants you to go. But many times we want to go where we want to go and not where God tells us to go. And if you be obedient to God and will obey God, whatever he tell you and whatever he say to you, just know it's going to come to pass. Because his word never return unto him void. Whatever he says and send out, it goes out and accomplishes whatever he says. I believe God promised. You must believe that God is a rewarder of them that diligence that seeks him. Remember that God said it, and you can stand on it. Stand on God's word. See, sometimes we discredit folk and we get upset with people because they said something and do something else. But when God says something, he is going to bring it to pass. For every word that God has ever spoken is true. Every word that God has spoken is true. The problem that many face today, they are eager to give up. To give up. I didn't get that job today. I'm going to give up looking. Well, you got to keep on moving because God has something for you. Because you didn't get it today, knock at another door tomorrow. I remember when Sister Fuss and I was trying to get the loan for this church. Doors was closing, knocking on bank doors, and they kept closing. But Sister Fuss and I said, we won't give up. For we know if we keep knocking, somebody's going to open the door. And we did not give in. Had we given up, we wouldn't have never accomplished what we have here today. But the enemy had told us many times, why don't you just quit? You know you're not going to get it, give up. But we were determined to press on, to know that God had promised us. And I know that he would not forsake us and leave us. He said, I will never forsake you. And he said another thing that I reminded in my mind, that I will never put you to shame. Whatever you start for the Lord, you're going to complete it. Because he will never put you to shame. You can put yourself to shame, but God will never put you to shame. Whatever you set out and set your hands out and place your hands on, you're going to go forward with it. I'm not saying that you will have some setbacks and some challenges along the way, but God will make a way somehow. The way is already there. But you must be so persuaded that I won't let nothing separate me from the love of Jesus and what I'm trying to achieve and what my goals are. I won't let anybody. I'm going to press on. Some people start school and before they can get their diploma or degree, they drop out. Almost finished. Can I help you today? Almost is not good enough. Some people get a job, work on it for 2 or 3 weeks. Well, I don't like this job. Well, you haven't been there long to really understand what the job is all about. But you're ready to give up. And you go to the next one, you don't like that one. Well, you got to stand still and watch God work it out for you. Because the thing that you leave might be the thing that God is trying to bless you with. But you're so eager to give it up and to turn and walk away. And somebody else will walk right in and get your blessing because you gave up. Don't give up. I wouldn't let go. Touch your neighbor's side, I won't let go. I'm holding on for my blessing. I know it's on the way. Get ready to pick it up from the post office tomorrow. Praise God, praise God, praise God. God got something for you. I know God got something for you. And he got something with your name on it. And that's why you don't have to push and shove and rush and try to be first for anything, because I don't care who gets there first. Whatever the Lord has for you, it is for you. I want to look at the story here about Jacob and his conquest with the angel. But first, I would like to go back and reflect back on 20 years earlier, as we see that Jacob was the brother of Esau. This is 20 years earlier now. And Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau, loved Jacob more than she did Esau. And actually, Jacob was the firstborn. He came up first, so he should have been the one that received the blessing. But during the process of time that Rebekah wanted Jacob to have the blessing. So she prepared and set it up as Isaac was getting old and making plans to cross over. During that time, the Jewish father would bless their eldest son. So anyway, she set it up and prepared her other son, Jacob, to receive what Esau should have received. Dressed him up and made the soup and all for the father. And so the father would be happy because he had requested Esau to bring him some soup. And so the mother said, well, I'm going to get this thing done while Esau's going out looking for victuals. I'm going to prepare soup and dress up my other son, Jacob, that he might present this soup to him. But anyway, Jacob went in and got the blessing. But it created a problem. You see, sometimes when you don't do things right, when you don't do what God has asked you to do, you're going to mess up somewhere. And so now that Jacob took the blessing of Esau, he took his blessing, and it angered Esau. And Esau said, well, when our daddy crossed over, when our father crosses over, I'm going to take your life. And so now that Rebekah had to design another plan, she said, well, Jacob, you better leave your homeland now and go to where my people are, because your brother going to take your life.
So that was 20 years earlier from this point that we're speaking of today. But how many know that no matter how you deal and go forward, you still got to deal with your past in order to receive God's blessing? Some folk feel they can run, but they can't hide. I put it in the bullet this morning. I didn't know how I was going to add up. You can run, but you can't hide. And when the Lord said unto Jacob, I want you to go back to your hometown now, to your homeland. And Jacob was reminded, well, I had a problem with my brother Esau. It has been 20 years since we have spoken. And he was fearful of what Esau would do unto him, not knowing that God had intervened. So he was afraid of what he would be faced with in returning back home. And God had already worked it out. Sometimes we mess up things, but God will straighten up some things. But we got to be mindful. Your past is behind you, but you still have to be mindful that what you have done gonna catch up with you. You reap what you sow. It may be 5 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 15 or 20 years, but somewhere along the line, you may have forgotten all about it. It's in the back of your mind. But when things happen, you start reflecting back, maybe this is because, y'all help me, man, that thing that I did yesterday, 20 years ago, it's still following me now. So now that Jacob was 20 years older now, and so far God had told him to go back to his homeland. And so now he sets out on his journey with two families, fearful of his brother. Sent word before he set out by a servant to tell his brother that he was on the way and that he would share some of his camels and animals with him to try to make up for yesterday. But he didn't recognize that the Lord had already worked this out. And so now, Jacob realized that, well, I got two families, and maybe I'll divide my families, and one I'll put over here, and if he destroys one, maybe one will survive. But he didn't know that everything would be all right, because God had his blessing already appointed. So now Jacob said, well, I'm going alone in the wilderness all by myself. How many know that when you really want to get something from God, you got to get alone and all by yourself? You don't need no distraction around you. You don't need sometimes even your own family to be close to you because you're trying to get something from the Lord. So Jacob goes out there in the wilderness all by himself, knowing that he was seeking a blessing from the Lord. And there he found himself in the midst of a wrestling match. Wrestled all night long. And when the day was breaking, he said, I'm wrestling with a man. But can I help you all today? That was the Lord that he was wrestling with. And the Lord would not let him go. Jacob would not let him go, but he realized that Jacob could not look on him after the day would break. So he said, listen, let me go. He said, Jacob said to him, I will not let you go until you bless my soul. Is there anybody here know that when you're seeking something, you got to grab hold to it and hold on to it and not let go until the Lord bless your soul? Have I got any witnesses here today? Somebody know that the Lord got a blessing for you. You ought to come in the morning. You ought to come seeking God's face in the church. You ought to come saying that I have some problem, but my problem won't have me because I'm going to take them to the altar and leave them there. When you come out early on Sunday morning, you ought to come saying I'm seeking a blessing from the Lord. That I'm not just getting dressed up to look good, but I'm going out to God's house. And I believe if I can get in the house of the Lord where the presence of God is, I believe God will change my circumstance. Is there anybody here can lift your hand and say, if I can just get to the house of the Lord, everything will be all right. That woman said, if I can but touch the hem of his garment. Somehow let's lift your hands and praise God right now. If I can but touch, I don't need him to touch me, but if I can just touch the hem of his garment, I will be made whole. So Jacob here wrestled all night long and realized that he wasn't going to prevail. And the Lord asked him, so what is your name? He said, my name is Jacob. He said, well, I'm going to tell you right now, it will no longer be Jacob, for you have wrestled with me all night long. And the Lord knocked this thigh out of place. And he was living, but he got his blessing. Somebody said, I may be living, but I'm going to get my blessing. I may not be able to walk right, but I'm going to live right, because the Lord has blessed my soul. Is there anybody here know that when you come for it, you got to get it? Touch your neighbors and neighbor. Don't leave until you get what the Lord got for you. Hold on. Tell your neighbor again, say one more time, say neighbor, hold on for your blessing. The devil gonna try to block you. He gonna try to stop you. But tell somebody I'm gonna wrestle with this thing all night long. I won't get up off my knees until I get my blessing. I came from my deliverance. I came from a breakthrough. Somebody was on the edge of a breakdown, but because you made it today, God's going to turn it around. Touch your neighbor, some neighbor. He's going to turn it around. I know he will, because I came believing. I'm having faith in Almighty God. Won't God do it? Won't he will? I said, won't God do it? He will turn it around. If I can just get into the presence of the Lord, everything gonna be all right. Tell somebody, say, it's all right now. It's all right now. I got what I came for. I came broken. I came distressed. I came perplexed. But I'm lifting holy hand. I'm going back with a praise. The Lord touched me. So, he touched me. Oh, but joy. Somebody didn't catch that. Tell somebody I came for it. I came for my blessing. And I won't leave without it. Hallelujah. When the Lord bless you, no man can curse you. When the Lord bless you, the devil can't stop you. He may try to block you, but when God bless you, you will walk through the fire and won't be sin. Go through the flood. Jacob said, I got my blessing. I got my blessing. I'm walking with a limp, but I still got my blessing. I got my blessing. I wrestled all night long. I may be a little out of shape, but I came and I got what I wanted. I got just what I wanted. Touch somebody, say, I got it, I got it, I got it. I got just what I want. Don't tell somebody, the devil tried to kill me, but the Lord healed me. The Lord blessed me. He never left me. Yes, he did. Jacob said, I'm a new man now. My name is changed. When the Lord bless you, he changed your name. Praise God, he give you a new name. Tell people I've been blessed. I've been touched by the hand of God. The enemy tried to destroy me, but I made it. Look at somebody, tell them I made it. I made it. I'm not going to look back now. I know the Lord. Oh God, make a way. I said, oh God, work it out for you. Oh God, turn it around. If you can just get in touch with the Lord, he'll turn it around for you. You have to worry about the outcome, because when God get in it, everything. Y'all didn't catch that. Look at the neighbor. Everything will be all right, no matter what the enemy has said. But whose report? Y'all didn't catch that. Whose report will you believe in today? I believe in the report of the Lord. And he has blessed you today. God bless you. I'm finished. But I want to tell you one thing, that God knows how to bless you. Jacob was determined to get his blessing, and he stayed there wrestling. That's a long time to wrestle. All night, but he wouldn't give up. He wouldn't give in. Because I need a blessing, he said. I'm getting ready to face the unknown. I don't know what my brother gonna do. But all I know, Lord, if you bless me, I believe I can face my past, and you'll work it out. You'll work it out. Well, behold, it was a good ending. Esau did meet Jacob, but he ran and embraced Jacob. Jacob was afraid because he heard that he had 400 men. Jacob was fearful. But when they met, Esau embraced him. He said, brother, it's all right. His brother said, listen, I got enough to share with you because I want to straighten up what I messed up. He said, no, I don't need nothing that you have. The Lord has blessed me.
Forgive me, Lord, for all the wrong that I've done. Oh, forgive me, Lord, for I should have been strong. Oh, forgive me, Lord.
Hi, this is Bishop Roy for Senior Pastor and Founder of the New Direction Evangelistic Church, located on the south side of Richmond, 9101 Hall Street Road. We thank you for joining us for our broadcast this afternoon, and we ask that you meet us next week at the same time for a relevant word from the Lord. Until then, may God bless you.
Forgive me, Lord, and save me by your grace. And forgive me, Lord, and I will walk with you every day. And forgive me, Lord, I'll never do it again. Lord, you know what I tried to do was right, but temptation showed up and it blinded my sight. When I would do good, evil was always around. If you forgive me, Lord, I never do it again. Oh, forgive me, Lord, for all of my mistakes. Oh, forgive me, Lord, and save me by your grace. Oh, forgive me, Lord, for all the wrong that I've done. And forgive me, Lord, I never do it again. Because you saved me and rescued my soul, I'll spend the rest of my days until I get old, telling the young and the rich and the poor that you are a loving God and you want to love us more. Oh, forgive me, Lord, all the wrong that I've done. Oh, forgive me, Lord, for I should have been strong. Oh, forgive me, Lord, all of my mistakes. And forgive me, Lord, I never do it again. If you forgive me, Lord, I'll never do it again. I'll never make